All signs point to LeBron James finishing his career in LA. Time has run out for James Outman with the Dodgers in a major roster shakeup. And Adem Bona has turned heads at the NBA Draft Combine. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. And so it is May 18th, 2024. Happy anniversary to my wife. Love her dearly. She's lovely. I'm mediocre. People are asking all the time how the hell it happened. God is good. That's all I can tell you. We are back in the sanctum sanctorum of LA sports. And if you like being in the know about LA, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Dodgers 7, Cincinnati 3. In his return, Jason Hayward homers. Shohei Ohtani also hits a home run. Meanwhile, today, Cincinnati's at the Dodgers again at 6. Walker Buehler is 0-1 with a 7.36 ERA. Graham Ashcraft 3-2 with a 4.12 ERA. It is Galaxy game day at 4:30. They are in Charlotte. The Galaxy have drawn in each of their last 3 matches. Charlotte has won its last 3. And by the way, with 7 goals so far this year, Dejan Joveljic has already passed his total from last year. The Sparks are at Las Vegas at noon. And I renew my plea to the WNBA press corps. I am not interested in a fashion report on the players. I do not care what they look like. LA is playing the 2-time defending league champs. At some point, it is about basketball. It is not about cleavage. And Angel City FC is at Washington, D.C. at 4:30. I try to avoid conspiracy theories. But articles that were coming out yesterday, if you just go past the headline, just past the lead, they strongly suggest LeBron James will be staying with the Lakers and that his son, Bronny James, will go to LA with a second-round draft pick. The Athletic reported that LeBron James is saying that he's not just going to leave the Lakers just to play on the same team with his son. Now you have that as one story, and yet he's been talking about playing in the NBA with his son for years now. Now these appear to be 2 diametrically opposed stories. How the hell does it add up? Now thankfully, while I was gone, my wife didn't buy any tinfoil, so I cannot make the appropriate hat. But we have been talking about Bronny's draftability for months, which is to say, the only legit reason to draft Bronny James is in the hopes that you can also land LeBron for the final couple of years in his career. To summarize, Bronny James doesn't excel at any facet of NBA level basketball, and he's only 6'1". If you're a team that thinks that one stud addition makes you a title contender, you're not thinking of Bronny James. You're thinking of drafting Bronny James in order to attract his dad. There are not too many teams, though, that can give LeBron James a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, definitely in the argument for the Mount Rushmore of NBA players. There are not too many teams who can offer everything that LeBron James wants. And when you are that level, you do get to call your own shots. You're thinking about a team that can be, quote, 1 player away from a championship, has the cap space to offer him the max, and draft his kid. Off the top of my head, you're thinking Philadelphia, Orlando, Oklahoma City. But let's be real. Who the hell thinks LeBron James is going to finish his career in Oklahoma City? It is not happening. So, this article, I would argue, originated from LeBron James's mouth. He could get the max out of the Lakers. He's never badmouthed living in LA. The Lakers would do anything to keep him. For Pete's sakes, Darvin Ham is on the unemployment line, most likely because LeBron James said so. So I would argue that the Lakers have a handshake deal in place to draft LeBron James in the second round. He is at best a fringe level NBA prospect. He wouldn't have been invited to the combine if he wasn't LeBron James's kid. He would be at best, after 1 year that was hampered by a cardiac arrest, G League. So yeah, the only team that can satisfy that is the Lakers. And even LeBron now, in my opinion, is the one saying he's not just going to leave LA. So you can call me a kook if you like. But the idea of leveraging the rest of the league who wouldn't look at Bronny James saying I'm not leaving LA just to play with my kid, that's a power play. He's trying to have everything in Lakers purple and gold. And that theory is a lot easier to explain than whether or not Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. So yeah, I believe that means LeBron James is finishing his career in Lakers gear. The Dodgers have continued their quest to field a more complete offense yesterday with 6 player transactions, 4 of which should send aftershocks throughout the lineup. Now, if you've watched any Dodger baseball at all this year, you know what the lineup is. 3 MVPs, a pretty damn good Will Smith, and then nothing but tumbleweeds rolling through a ghost town. It is literally the meme of Will Smith in the final scene of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's what the lower half of the Dodger lineup looks like. Just yesterday morning, we were discussing Dodger minor leaguers, by the way, and how in order for Miguel Vargas to return to the majors, a hole would have to be created in the lineup. Now, James Outman's batting average is that hole. I would even argue it's more than a hole. James Outman's batting average is more like a fissure in the time-space continuum. That's kind of like what you would have seen in Spider-Man No Way Home. A fissure, the breach, so big that you half expect Andrew Garfield to jump through it, climb onto the ceiling, and start crying about how he killed his girlfriend. The most emotional Spider-Man ever, by the way. Outman, who finished as runner-up in NL Rookie of the Year voting last year, the dude was demoted on Friday because he was hitting just 141. That's more than 100 points below his batting average from last year. Now Vargas, who last year was supposed to be the Dodgers' answer in the middle infield, but he hit his way back to Oklahoma City. So far this year, 8 home runs, 38 RBI in AAA. That is far from it, though, when it comes to the roster turnover. Max Muncy goes on the injured list with an oblique strain. Now, that's probably just about 10 days. Muncy has been extremely one-dimensional at the plate. 9 home runs, but a terrible .223 batting average. So Jason Hayward returns, having played in just 4 games so far this year before a lumbar injury sidelined him. And Dave Roberts didn't waste any time putting Hayward in the 8th slot last night of the lineup. And by the way, no Dodger day is complete without flipping relief pitchers. They brought back Ricky Venasco. They dropped Nick Ramirez. Now, overall, Roberts is telling the LA Times that the current roster shakes out with Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas filling in for Muncy at third. Rookie Andy Pages has locked up center field. Then you have Teoscar Hernandez, who could play either outfield corner spot. Hayward would sub in over in right field. Vargas or Chris Taylor would sub in over in left. Ultimately, if you're looking at this from 30,000 feet, this is them trying to rebuild their outfield on the fly. Keep in mind, though, Chris Taylor's average has been a shockingly bad .083. Now, as for Outman, Roberts says, look, there are not any at-bats in LA that are there for somebody who's trying to hit their way out of a slump. There's plenty to be had over in Oklahoma City. Plenty of tornadoes, too, I might add. And poverty. Don't forget about the poverty. There's all the poverty you could want over in Oklahoma. The Dodgers also acquired left-handed reliever Adem Bona from Cleveland for cash considerations, which for all I know is a nice gift card from Sephora. He's probably going to Oklahoma City as well. We know that former UCLA center Adem Bona's stock rose at the NBA draft combine. A couple of days ago, we had mentioned that he had some really solid scrimmages at the combine, and that alone was going to be good enough. We do not know how much his profile raised, but we have a little more information on what people think. Pluses, a couple of minuses. Now, on the downside, much like LeBron James over at USC, Bona is not as tall as previously believed. He's actually just 6'8", but it's his 7'3" wingspan. That's what makes him play taller than what he actually is. That and a 40-inch vertical. Moreover, and this might have come from talking with coaches, he has a very solid idea of the type of player that he would be in the NBA. From what I've been reading, I would describe him, my opinion, a poor man's DeAndre Jordan. He's going to rebound, he's going to protect the rim, he's going to dunk, but he's not going to demand that the offense run through him. He's not going to demand the ball. Now, if you're looking for another knock on Bona, he did commit a lot of fouls in those scrimmages, and that is consistent with his UCLA career. So maybe somebody takes a flyer on Adem Bona late in the first round. He should be drafted. Maybe late first round, maybe high second round, but expect to hear his name called. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Are you excited in belief that LeBron James is going to finish his career as a Laker? Are you confident in this Dodger roster and lineup shakeup? If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corta El Queso production. Take care.